Devolver Digital, a studio that consistently impresses, is gearing up for the release of their latest game, Gunbrella, on the Nintendo Switch, and ever since its announcement, it's been high up on my must-play list. Now it's an action platformer that promises inventive gadgets for movement and combat, all set within a deadly world. Well, today I'm thrilled to share my initial impressions based on the first 4 hours of gameplay, courtesy of Devolver. Let's get into it. If you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing, it helps out the channel a huge amount. So Gunbrella right from the outset surpassed my expectations by placing more emphasis on its narrative than I initially predicted. Now I was well aware that the story would play a significant role, but what truly surprised me was the continuous succession of crucial missions and side quests, complemented by a diverse and frequently unconventional cast of characters. So here's the gist of the main plot. In the opening scenes, we return home to a horrifying discovery. Our wife has been brutally murdered. The only hint left behind is the Gunbrella, the title object. There begins our quest for revenge as we seek out the owners of this lethal device. So I've seen some chatter around Gunbrella with a few mentions of it being a Metroidvania on occasion, and I do want to address this immediately. Although part of its design undoubtedly owes to the genre, Gunbrella is significantly more straightforward. Rather than being one large interconnected location, for example, the game is comprised of disconnected locations that do lean towards a linear design. I would categorize it as an action platformer with branching pathways and some backtracking. You'll additionally encounter environmental puzzles on this journey, and you will face some roadblocks that will require you to find a specific item or complete a quest to advance. And with that out of the way, I've been having an absolute blast with Gunbrella, largely due to the acrobatic abilities of our lead character. These abilities are thanks to the Gunbrella, a unique weapon that also serves as a tool for exploring the world around you. Regarding combat, the Gunbrella functions primarily as a shotgun, but it is capable of holding different ammo types. As a traversal tool, then you can dash, glide, and even grapple onto specific objects in the world around you, and when combined with the combat, it really is incredibly satisfying. You can also do some character-specific moves, such as wall jumping. There are, of course, limitations in place. For instance, you can only dash a certain number of times consecutively in mid-air. However, this hasn't impacted the sense of freedom I've experienced while zipping all over the map. Whether I'm attacking enemies from creative angles or simply scaling objects within the world, it's been a rewarding ride. Additionally, the Gunbrella can be used as a block mechanic, so if you time it just right, you can actually parry projectiles back towards your enemies. This is a satisfying move when executed correctly, and it's really something I should have practiced sooner. Additionally, the Gunbrella is gradually evolving. I've recently encountered a character that provides upgrades provided you can furnish the necessary parts scattered around the world. These upgrades so far have given me the opportunity to improve damage as well as that reload speed. The game is also slowly then introducing new mechanics as well. So as an example, the aforementioned grapple doesn't make an appearance until you're a couple of hours deep into the gameplay. This is complemented then by a character-specific upgrade, the expansion of your health meter size. Although you begin this journey with 4 hearts, the game allows you to progressively increase this number. So after the initial 4 hours of gameplay, I find myself sitting now at 5 hearts, and I've actually noticed a missed opportunity that could have boosted it to 6. These enhancements are then tied to side quests, where you can earn a half heart for completing a mission. By successfully accomplishing 2 of these quests, you'll earn a full heart upgrade. Additionally, in-game stores then offer the chance to fortify your health meter with shields, which can reach a maximum of 3. I do strongly recommend as well prioritizing the purchase of healing items and other essential supplies as soon as you can. A mistake I definitely made, because Gunbrella introduces a fair share of challenges, and having these items to hand, such as bandages, it's going to be an absolute game changer. You'll utilize them with the left trigger in battle, and if you do it effectively, it's definitely going to help you tackle the difficulties that do arise. It's also worth noting that the game implies a generous checkpoint system, minimizing the loss of progression upon defeat. Then these checkpoints, they also restore your stats, ensuring that you're well prepared for what lies ahead. Of course, all of this would be pointless without levels and enemies designed to bring out the best in these mechanics, and I'm happy to say this far it is impressing. The levels are packed with imaginative enemies, each with unique attack styles, something from magic-wielding foes to weapon-carrying soldiers, and even the local wildlife that has a surprisingly vicious demeanor. The game is gonna keep you on your toes. As an example, I'm currently wrestling with An absolute pain in the ass, these pesky birds that dart in all directions, almost matching my movements, and this poses a challenging predicament as it somewhat kind of blunts my acrobatic advantage. The game world then is divided along a train line with progress marked by unlocking further stops. These stops are essentially unique biomes, each presenting their own set of challenges. My journey through the game has varied so far, ranging from exploring smaller towns to these different kind of sewers. One of the most distinctive experiences was navigating through an ice world. This icy domain was particularly frustrating due to the obstacles introduced by this terrain. You know, ice, a common hindrance here, often blocked my path, requiring constant gunfire to clear as you fly through the air. Moreover, the icy walls obstructed my wall jumping ability, demanding additional strategy in my movements. This definitely led to my demise on more than a few occasions. However, I must note that this far, the difficulty curve has felt pretty fair, I would say. I've also been backtracking and jumping between different locations as missions demand, so do know it is not linear in the sense once you've overcome a certain section, you are done with it for good. I've also faced a fair few bosses at this point in the game, and they are particularly challenging. They definitely require you to demonstrate what you've learnt this far. One boss I encountered was particularly frustrating as it trapped me with no ability to visit a store to get health packs or ammo, and I also will say as well, I found the first boss more difficult than those that followed, and I'm trying to determine at this point, was that a skill issue or a balance issue itself? From what I've seen over the course of 4 hours, the Gunbrella weapon is an awesome aspect of the game. The world in which it's set is unique, boasting this constantly changing environment that continually introduces fresh challenges, and the story is intriguing too. However, of course, I'm left with more questions than answers at this point. You know, how will weapon and character upgrades unfold? What bosses are gonna be ahead? Who is behind this crime? You know, we've only just reached the point of the game where we've really begun to dive into its history. Then, what are these bizarre, almost demon-like creatures that seem to appear at locations once I've cleared them out? They are particularly menacing and they fly directly towards you. One thing is for sure though, like, I'm invested, and you can expect a full review here on the channel closer to the launch of the game. So if you do have any questions, let me know in the comments below. I will try to answer them as quickly as possible. And with that, hit subscribe, join us here for reviews, deals, news and lists daily, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.